All right. Hello, my name is Vitez King, and here is my week 3 assignment. I believe we're supposed to be recording a video and where I explain the assignment. So here it goes. Um, the first question, they wanted me to create an array called ages with 8 elements. So here I created the array with the let keyword, and I created the array using the brackets and inserting these numbers in to the array. So that was number one. Then they wanted me to programmatically subtract the first value in the array by the last value. So here is the first value in the array, which is indexed at 0. So that's this one here. That's how you access it. And then I'm supposed to be subtracting this one by the last element. So how I get this one is by taking the ages array and the ages length, which would be 8. So 8 minus 1 would be 7. And then this would be ages 7. And that would log out this last element here in the array. So yeah, and then I console log that out. So I log that to my console. Should have the browser somewhere. Okay, so that's this one here. Back to my VS Code. Okay, so yeah, console logged that out. That came to this here, minus 90. Okay. Then they wanted me to add a new age to the array. So I used the dot push method to add age 38 to the ages array. So yeah, that added the 38 to this. And it's gonna push it right in at the end. And then here it says to repeat the steps to make sure that the code works for arrays of different lengths. So I made a new array, created a new array of a different length. And here I console logged it out to, yeah, do the same thing. So it works for arrays of different lengths. Then I was asked to use a loop to iterate through the ages array and calculate the average age. So here I declared the average age variable and set it equal to 0 because I'm going to be using that later on. Here I created a function, named it find average age, and I input the ages array here as a parameter. Inside of the curly brackets, I created another for loop where I iterated over the ages array. Let's see. Yeah, so I created a for loop that iterates less than the length of the ages array and increases the index by 1 every time. So yeah, let's see. And then it says here, I created a variable within the block scope so that I can add whatever it is to the current number so that I can eventually, add added to the average age, so then I'd be able to calculate that at the end. So I set the current number equal to whatever the age is in the array. So that's here, and I just add it to itself until the average age gets a total number. So once it reaches its total, I divide it by the ages length, or the length of the ages array, and I return the value of average age, which here, let's see, average age. Yeah, so now the function is complete, and then I called the function and I logged it to the console, and the console is giving me an average of 28.75 for an average age. All right, number two, here they wanted me to create an array called names. Here I created the array. They said to not use var anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and change that to that. And here are the names in the array. So I console log the length of this array, which should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here we go. So yeah, that's the average, and then the average length should be 6. The length of the names array. Okay. And then here they wanted me to use a loop to iterate the names array, then calculate the average number of letters per name. Okay. Let me go ahead and change some of these. I'm gonna be changing these throughout this video. Sorry. Let's go ahead and change this real quick. Okay. So here, I declared a variable called total so that I can add to the total later on. Here, I used the loop to iterate through the names array. And it calculated the average. Let's see, I'm trying to see where I'm. So yeah, inside of here, we have the total at 0 plus whatever the length of the names array is. So if it's at Sam, so if this was 0, it would be the length of Sam. So that would be 3. So it would be 0 plus 3. Right? And then each time this goes up in increments, then it goes 0, then it goes 1, then that goes to Tommy, 2, then it goes to Tim, 3, then it goes to Sally, 4, then it goes to Book. So each time it's just pulling the length of each of these elements and adding it to the total, which then at the end here, we have the average. Yeah, because it wants me to calculate the average number of letters per name. So here I declared a variable called average, and I set it equal to the total. So after it added all those names to the total, then it's going to divide by however many names are in, however many, names are in this array. So the length of the array, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to take the total and divide it by 6. And I console log that out here at line 51. Line 51 here. So the average number of letters per name is 3.833 there. Okay. So here, the next one, they want me to use a loop to iterate through the names array again and concatenate all the names together, separated by spaces. Gotta change this. Oops. Apologies. So here I created a string, an empty string. We're going to be filling this later, or it will be filled later. So I used a loop to iterate through names array. And here, yeah, I created the loop to iterate through the names array and concatenate all the names together. So I took my string, which is similar to what I did here to with the total, but only with a string. And I'm adding each name that's indexed. So if this is 0, that's Sam. So I'm adding my string to Sam, and I'm logging it out here at number 60. So here, just take Sam, and then I'm adding that to my string. So then it's gonna say Sam plus whatever name is next, which is Tommy. So then it's gonna say Sam and Tommy. And every time the index goes up, it just adds another name to the console. So eventually prints out all 6 names here in the console. Here, looking at, it says number 3. They want me to, how do you access the last element of an array? So I use the reverse method, and I use the names method, the names array, just as an example. So to access the last element in the array, I reversed the first element. So the first element would have been 0, which would have been Sam. But because I reversed it, I got Bob, which is the last element. And then the next one wants to know, how do I access the first element? So here I just reversed it back so that Bob would be the last element again. Sam would be the first element. So that's not reversed. So I reversed it back to how it was originally. And now it's asking me, how do I access the first element of the array? Then I put in the array and its index number with the first element, which would be Sam. So yeah, that's console log there at number 70, 70 or 71. Yeah. So yeah, I reversed it back, and then that's how you access the first element. All right. Now here, it says to create a new array called name lengths. Here I created a new array called name lengths. And then it says, write a loop to iterate over the previously created names array and add the length of each name to the name lengths array. So here, I created a for loop that iterates over the previous names array. And they want, and it says to add the length of each name to the name links array. Okay, so here, this is the name links array, and I'm pushing each name. So if this is index 0, it would take Sam and the length of Sam, which would be 3, and pushing that into this new array. So it would be 3 going inside of there. And every time this increments, it pulls the length of each name and puts it in there. So it'll be 3, and then the name Tommy would be next. It would be 5, and then 10 would be next. It would go 3. All right. So it's just pushing the length of each name into the name links array. I'm logging that out to the console here on 81 and 82. Here says Sam, which is the index. So it wants to pull the array, and which number is going to pull the first one. So that's going to say Sam. Then it wants the name links. So that's where we put the 3 and the 5, and we were putting those numbers in. That's where this is going to log out. So the first one is going to come out as 3. And then, yeah, they'll just keep adding it in. So 3, and then 5, then 3. See, it's just adding each name into the array, or each length into the array. Excuse me. All right. So that's number 5. Number 6, they want me to write a loop to iterate over the name links array. So that's what I did here. I wrote a loop, a for loop to iterate over the name links array. And I had to use the dot length after the links, which was kind of tricky. So after I figured that out, yeah. Inside of the curly brackets, we had to calculate the sum of all the elements in the array. So we created a variable. Gotta change that again. Probably got a lot of those in here still. So we created a variable called total names, set it equal to 0. So this right here will be 0 plus whatever the name links that we're indexing. So if we are trying to find the name length of 0, which would be Sam, it would be 3. So it's going to be 0 plus 3. Then it's going to keep going with Tommy in the next one. So it's just going to keep pulling the lengths of those names and adding them to the total. So we get a total amount of letters in the names. Then I console log that out, and here we have 91. So we have the running total. So every time it iterates, it just adds each length to the total until we stop there at the end. So That's that one. Here, they wanted me to write a function that takes two parameters, word and in, and returns the word concatenated to itself in number of times. So here's just what they wanted, just a little example what they wanted me to do. They wanted to say hello, hello, hello. If I pass in hello in 3 to the parameters. So here, yep, gotta change these, sorry. But, I think I'll let this one pass me too. That. All right. Sorry about that again. All right. So here I declared a variable called word with an empty string, which you will be getting filled with later. And another variable in and set it equal to 0. So here I created a function called repeat the words. I didn't know what to call it. I just called it repeat word because that's what it looks like it does. It just repeats the word. And inside of this function called repeat word, I have the argument word that I want, the word that I want to put in, which is going to be a string, and however many times I want to repeat it. So inside of the block, I return whatever word and repeat however many times I needed to repeat. So when I console logged out my function, repeat word, and passed in these two parameters, I just used N1 for my own, just use that as my own string. And I said I wanted it to repeat 4 times. I could say I want to repeat 6 times, whatever. And then 105 console, it'll repeat N1, and we'll repeat that 6 times, or however many times I want to repeat the word or any word. So here we go here. Number 8, they want me to write a function that takes 2 parameters, first name and last name, and returns a full name. The full name should be the first and the last name separated by a space. So they wanted me to write a function, so I created a function called find name because it looks like they want me to find the name of something. So I created it, called it find name, and the first argument I passed in was first name, and the second was the last name. Inside of the block, I returned the first name and concatenated it with a space and then the last name. So then anytime I pass anything to these parameters and insert a string, the console log, or it'll log out what they insert here, or what I insert here. So I just put this big player, whatever. So I logged out here. Let me see, go back. Okay, so first name will be big, right? And that goes in the here, boom, first name. Last name will be player. That goes into here, uh, here, and logs out the player when we concatenate them together. All right. So here is the next one, number 9. They want me to write a function that takes an array of numbers and returns true if the sum of all the numbers in the array is greater than 100. Okay, let's see. So I created a function called count game. It looks like I'm counting. So whatever, I made a function called count game. And here I put in a parameter called points. I'm not sure if the numbers in this array were given to us in the assignment or if I made up my own numbers. Either way, I created a variable called points, points array. And here are the points inside of that array. Created another variable called sum of all so that I can add to that later and get the sum of all the points. So here, inside of here, I created a function that took in the array of numbers and returns true. So an array of these numbers, took in an array of these numbers, and it returns true if the sum of all the numbers is greater than 100. So created the loop. I added the sum of all to the points. So the sum of all will start off at 0 plus 42. And then it'll just keep adding to it. So 42 plus 26. And then whatever that is, plus 21, plus 12, and so on until it gets to the sum of all. And then it logs the sum of all here at 130. So the sum of all is 42. Let me see. Oh, okay, it just kept adding them up. Okay, so 42, then it adds 26, then it adds 21, then it adds 12 and 16. And at the end of the sum of all will be 117. And if the sum of all, which is 117, is greater than 100, it should return true. And there it is. It returns true. So, yeah, I logged out the, that's what I logs out there. Called the function and the parameter. That's what. So, under number 10, number 10, I was supposed to write a function that takes an array of numbers and returns the average of all the elements in the array. So here I created a function called find the average because that looks like they want us to do. They want us to find the average, return the average. So created it called find average. It takes an array of numbers and inside of the block created a, oh, I got a whole bunch of these in here, red flags. Whoa, three of these. 1, 2, Oops. One, two, sorry about that again. So declared variable called sum of score because I'm going to be adding to that later as this iterates. So I created a for loop to iterate over the numbers array. So as it iterates, it takes each number uh, 0. Where is the numbers array? Okay. So it took in that parameter numbers. And here, I only needed this one. I used this one to make sure that it worked with a different set of numbers. But here I declared an array called scores, and these values inside. And let's see. So here in the loop, I took the sum of score and I added it to numbers. Use this 61. Okay. Sorry about that. Pause in the middle there. I took some things out. But so yeah, I took whatever number I was given and just kept adding that to 0. So 0 plus whatever number, and it just keeps adding up till it gets the total sum of the score. And then I divided that by the length of the numbers array. And that's how I got the average here of 23.4. And that's on a line 157. Yeah. So here I passed in this parameter for scores. And it took the average of all of these and it turned it into 23.14. And to make sure that this function works, I made another array with with higher values to make sure that it outputs another higher average. So here, 23.4 for 157, and on line 158, we got a higher average. So yeah, the function works for any of those numbers, number values. Okay, so on number 11, almost done here. Okay, so on number 11, they wanted me to write a function that takes two arrays, numbers, and returns true if the average of the elements in the first array is greater than the average of the elements in the second array. So here, I wrote a function. I called it which average is greater. So whichever average is greater, that's the function. It's going to pull from these two numbers, and it's going to say if the average, I just use this average function. So if this average of these numbers is greater than the average of these numbers, then return true, or else return false. So I put in the scores. So the average of scores 1. We knew the average of score of 1 was 23.4. Where is it? Yeah, 23.4. And we knew that the average of scores 2, we knew that the average of scores 2 was 175.4. So if this was true, so if 23 is greater than 175, it would output to be true, but it's not bigger, so it will return false. So it returns false here. So yeah, there you go. Any two arrays that you want to compare to see which numbers or which average is greater, you can use this function to find that out. All right. Number 12, they want me to write a function called will buy drink that takes a Boolean is hot outside and a number money in pocket and returns true if it is hot outside and if money in pocket is greater than 1050. So here, which one did I? Greater than 1050. Okay, yeah. So here I created a function called will buy drink. And it passes in these two parameters. It takes a Boolean is hot outside and takes a number of money in pocket and returns true. It'll return true if it is hot outside and if money is greater than 1050. So if it's hot outside, it's true, and the money in pocket is greater than 1050, I console log, I will buy a couple drinks if that's true. But if it's false, then it's going to console log, don't buy any drinks. So even though it's hot outside is true, or here what I put, my console log, I said, we'll buy a drink false. So it's not hot outside. So when this runs and it says that it's not set to true, it's running false, it's going to tell the computer to go to this else statement where it says, don't buy any drinks. Because both of these have to be true in order for this one to run. Yeah, in order for it to run true. Okay. So here is my last one, number 13. They wanted me to create a function of my own that solves a problem. In the comments, write what the function does and why you created it. I don't think I wrote what the function does, but I'll explain pretty much what I created here. So I created a function that says if you can wash clothes or not. So this will let you know if you can create clothes or not. So is the washer empty? That would have to be a Boolean, so it would have to return true. And if we have laundry soap or if there's enough laundry soap. So if the washer is empty and there's enough laundry soap, then you can wash clothes. Uh, if not, then sorry, you'll have to wait. So here, uh, if the if the washer is empty, it's true, and there's enough laundry soap, or it's greater than 4, then you can wash your dirty clothes, and it'll return true. So here we passed in these two here. So we said, yeah, it's true that you can that the washer is empty, but we also said that there's laundry soap and is greater than 4. So both of these are true. Therefore, you should be able to wash your dirty clothes now. There we go. Wash your dirty clothes now. And yeah, returns true. So that concludes my week 3 uh, video assignment explaining everything that was in the class assignment. Appreciate your time and have a good one. Thank you. Bye.